sickly, gangly kid from Manchester, England, raised in an agnostic family, become a leader for missionaries in over 7 countries. Paul Gibbs didn't know how to explain God to himself, let alone anyone else. His story is truly something beautiful. Paul Gibbs makes missionaries. Originally from Manchester, England, Paul founded the PAYS Project in 1992, and he now serves as its global director. Hi, how are you, Paul?
Good, thank you.
Welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Paul, why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about what the PAYS Project actually entails?
So PAYS trains young adults. We then equip them and place them for a year in a church, and they go into local schools as missionaries, and they go into the local church to help make missionaries of the young people.
PAYS Project is a movement. It's a movement of missionaries making missionaries.
Paul Gibbs from Manchester, England, founder of the PAYS Project and its global director. If you have a beautiful story that you'd like to share with us, we'd love for you to log onto our website, www.betf.com. Share your story or your testimony, and perhaps you'll see yourself on something beautiful. Robert Borelli's life reads like a segment out of a Mario Puzo novel. Or maybe some of you remember the film Goodfellas, a story of Robert's friends in his original neighborhood in Brooklyn. It's the story of a mobster's life, a life of crime and violence. Except this is not a film or a Hollywood novel. It's all real. It's a real story of violence, crime, drama that later became a story of redemption and one of love. It truly is something beautiful. Robert, I want to start all the way from the beginning. I'd like you to take us all the way back to your childhood in Brooklyn. Tell us a little bit about that.
The thing I remember the most is the constant fighting.
Our guest today is Tammy Lane, an ordinary housewife in a nondescript suburb that could be anywhere in the country. Tammy is a wife and a mother. She has a busy and fulfilled life, and yet she still felt there was something more. Little did she know, God was preparing Tammy for something beautiful. Tammy, why don't you just kind of start from the beginning and tell me how all of this started for you?
Okay, Tina. I guess when it started was, I felt like the Lord was leading me to purchase a camera. And I mean, you know, a pretty good camera.
Right.
And I tell my husband about it, and he's like, why? Why do you need a camera? I mean, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, but I just feel like the Lord is placing on my heart things to film.
Oh, what was your husband thinking about all this? I mean, obviously while you're looking into actually going down there.
He was not real happy.
I can understand why.
Yeah, yes. He was fearful for me. I need to tell you something.
Is this a good something or a bad something?
It's a good something, but you might consider it a bad something. I really want to go on a trip to Africa and India and film it as a reality show, but take this trip and feed people and be gone for a good amount of time.
Yeah, that'd take an act of God. You're going over there where you've never been before. You don't know who you're going over there to see. I mean, you talk to a guy in India on the internet? No, you're not.
You're not listening. I want to make a difference.
You know, when I was just doing some of the research that you had on this whole experience, and you talked about the leper colony, I remember my reaction being, I didn't even know they still had leper colonies.
Right. I didn't either. I had no idea.
I mean, you think that that's something we read about in the Bible, but not actually something that is still going on in third world countries. Working in corporate America can sometimes give you a critical view of the world around you, when actually there's beauty everywhere, especially among God's people. My name is Tina Polite. I'm a journalist and a PR executive, and I have a new show on KTAQ, Fridays at 5. It's called Something Beautiful. I hope you'll join me for stories of Christians just like yourself, ordinary people doing extraordinary things for God. Remember, Fridays at 5 on KTAQ. Be prepared to be inspired.